When people think of the British royal family, they often picture grand palaces, lavish ceremonies, and centuries-old traditions. But behind the glamour, there is an untold truth. The very people who have cared for members of the royal family in their final years were Filipino healthcare workers. Filipinos Queen Elizabeth I's trusted caregivers. Queen Elizabeth II was a symbol of resilience and dedication to the United Kingdom for over 70 years. But in her final years, she too needed special care, and the ones by her side every day were none other than the nurses, caregivers, and healthcare workers from the Philippines. Why Filipinos? For decades, Filipinos have been known for their dedication, compassion, and kindness in the healthcare industry. They don't just bring expertise, they bring a unique spirit of service, a combination of strong professional skills and a warm heart. Their Catholic faith also shapes their view of elder care, not just as a job, but as a sacred duty. It is no coincidence that the British royal family entrusted them with the care of the Queen. According to royal insiders, in her final days, as her health declined, it was the Filipino nurses who stayed by her side, ensuring she received not only the best physical care, but also emotional support. Their stories of dedication go far beyond that. There were times when they sacrificed sleep, working long hours just to ensure the Queen was as comfortable as possible. And while they never made headlines, they became an essential part of the final years of one of the most significant figures in British history. Frontline warriors in the pandemic. When the world faced the greatest crisis of the 21st century, the COVID-19 pandemic, Filipinos once again stood at the front lines, unforgettable numbers. Tens of thousands of Filipino healthcare workers in the UK worked tirelessly to save lives, despite the risks to their own. Many were forced to live apart from their families for months, isolating themselves in hospitals to prevent the spread of infection. Some Filipino nurses even lost their lives to COVID-19 while on duty, sacrificing everything to protect others. Heartbreaking but inspiring stories. A Filipino nurse in London worked 18-hour shifts daily, only getting a few hours of sleep on a chair between shifts. Another, despite being infected, refused to take time off because they didn't want their colleagues to be overwhelmed. There is no denying that without the contributions of the Filipino community, the UK's healthcare system might have collapsed at the height of the pandemic. They weren't just medical workers, they were warriors, fighting an invisible enemy with compassion, knowledge, and unwavering spirit. King Charles III, a well-deserved recognition. Against this backdrop, King Charles III spoke up, and it was no coincidence. He didn't just express gratitude, he acknowledged an important truth. Filipinos don't just work, they sacrifice. They dedicate themselves, and they deserve to be respected. What did his speech mean? Recognition from the highest level. This was the first time a British monarch publicly honored the contributions of the Filipino community in such an emotional way. A sincere tribute, not just diplomatic words. His words weren't just formalities. They were a heartfelt acknowledgement of the people who have quietly served for years, a shift in how the world views migrant workers. Filipinos are not just employees, they are the backbone of society, bringing hope and life to millions. And this is the most important part. For many Filipinos working overseas, these words carried a deeply personal meaning. They were no longer just faceless healthcare workers. Hidden in the background, they were seen, heard, and valued. A well-deserved recognition for sacrifices no one sees. Filipinos don't do their jobs for fame. They don't expect to be featured in the news or receive medals. They work because they believe in their mission, a mission rooted in love and faith. But when a king stands up and tells the world, "We couldn't do this without you," that carries immense significance. It's not just a compliment, it's a recognition from one of the most powerful figures in the world that these silent heroes are making a difference. This wasn't just a speech, it was a message. A message that kindness dedication, and love matter more than anything else. And today, the world has finally seen that. What do you think about this recognition? Share your thoughts and let's celebrate the Filipinos who have sacrificed so much for a better world. Now, do you see why King Charles III's words were so important? This wasn't just a statement, it was a powerful message for millions of Filipinos worldwide. In a world full of chaos, sometimes a single recognition can change everything. And today, King Charles III did just that. He spoke not for the aristocrats, but for the silent workers who truly make a difference. Do you think this